Hey guys, so today I am going to walk you guys through how to start your collage. So I have the instructions pulled up right here. You guys should have already collected 10 images from your Google Images representing. You should have turned that in on Google Classroom. So the first thing to do is we are going to create a new file with the following settings. So I'm going to hit Create New. We need it to be your name, Collage. You need it to be 10 inches, so make sure you're on inches, and then set that to 10, and our height needs to be 10 too. 10 by 10 is a square, so our orientation does not matter because it will be the same either way. Our resolution needs to be 300 pixels per inch. And like I said, our orientation does not matter because it is the same tall as it is wide. Once your screen looks like mine, you can hit Create, and it will pop up looking like this. Now we need to add our images. So from your Layers panel, you need to click Add a new layer. So here's our layers. If you don't see your layers, go up to Window, make sure Layers is clicked. We need to hit Create a new layer. Perfect. Open your first image. Go to File, Open, and click on the picture that you want to open. So, File, Open. Mine is on my desktop under Digital Media, Photoshop. I'm gonna do this cute little sloth, I think, right now. Okay, so I have my sloth open. Notice how it put it in a different tab. So it's a different workspace than my collage right now, which is perfectly fine. That's normal. So once we locate it, we opened it, we are going to use the magnetic selection tool to select the image without the background. So to do this, I'm going to make my screen bigger, that way you can see. The magnetic selection tool is the third one down. If you click and hold, yours probably looks like this, a lasso tool. You need to click and hold that button. Remember that little triangle down there shows us that there's hidden images or hidden tools underneath of that. So click and hold that and then go down to magnetic lasso tool. And it says we are going to select the image without the background. So you are going to go around the main part of the, like your main subject. That's the word I'm trying to find. So mine is the sloth. Mine doesn't have a background. So mine will be pretty easy to show you how the magnetic selection tool works. For the magnetic selection tool, you have to click to have a starting point. Notice how there is a circle in the lower right-hand corner of this tool. I will have to go all the way around my sloth and then come back to close that circle. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Obviously, that was very messy, so I just hit the delete button to backspace it. So I am clicking. I am not clicking at this point in time. It is just automatically doing that for me. If I come to a point, let's say I wanted to do like the nose, and it like didn't want to click, and maybe I wanted to include the mouth as well. I can click it and create that point. But for the most part, it will automatically go around that shape for me. If you mess up, you can hit the delete button. As I just did, I'm going to hit the delete button, and it will back up to the point that was previous of that. So I'm going to quickly go around my sloth head. You guys are going to want to make sure that you are very intentional, and you might even have to zoom in to see what you're where you're going. But for time's sake, I'm going to go pretty quick, and mine might not be perfect, but it's a It's an oval, so it's pretty easy. Also, there's no background, so that will also be easy for me. The reason that I had you guys pick out 10 images is because some of them might not work. That way you have backups just in case. So once you go around your entire subject, you have to go around the entire subject. If you don't, it will cut off like a leg or something, and that would be weird. Once you go around the entire thing and you come back to the very first point, that little circle will pop back up. You have to click that circle, or you can click twice, 1, 2, and you will see these little red marching ants. That's what I call them, little marching ants. You'll see it's like around the entire subject, right? Let's go back to this. So when you get to the end of the selection, a circle will appear, indicating you can close the circle, which you need to do. After that, it will have a blinking line, which is what I have. Perfect. You can go to the main menu and click Edit and Cut. Before I do that, though, I'm going to introduce the feathering effect. So, a feathering effect can kind of blend your pictures together. So, to get the feathering effect, you have to use it prior to changing the file, using the tool options at the top of the screen. So, using the tool options at the top of the screen, you can actually just change it right here to your feathering. You can change it to this, says start at 5 pixels. Then, once your feathering effect is done, then you can go to Edit, Cut. So Edit, Cut, and it will cut out that image from this workspace. Then you need to click on the Collage document. So I need to go back to here, click on the Layer 1, and I can hit Edit, Paste, or Command V. Edit, paste, and there's my picture. I need to go to my Move tool to be able to edit this. To make my image larger, I can hit Command T. So Command T, and I can make that bigger. Remember, in Illustrator, you hold down Shift to make sure your image isn't distorted. In Photoshop, you have to hold down Alt or the Option key. So I am holding down Alt and I am dragging to make that image large. And then when I'm done, I have to hit Enter, and that lets it know that I am done editing that. I'm going to hit Command T again, so my image is selected. Command T, and if you come up to the corner, you get this little curved arrow. That is how you turn your image as well. As always, you can hit Command Z, and that will backspace. So I can turn it, hit Enter, turn. If I hold Alt, if I hold Shift, it will kind of make that degree, it'll make it even, so you can turn it on that degree. So yeah, that is how you add images in there. Additional layers and images. So once you're done with your first layer, you are going to add another one. Create new layer. I'm going to name this layer Sloth, Head. And I'm going to name this layer Leaf. Okay, so I want to go File, open, and I want to open another image. And I'm going to go to my magnetic lasso tool. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to make sure I'm being precise. I'm going to go around this entire subject now. Oop, that one kind of went off a little crazy. So the whole point of this is to make a collage of items that work together. Oh, see, I messed up right here, so I'm going to delete, backspace that up, because I want it to be good. My circle popped up, so that means that it's closed. Another way that I can move this image is if I go to my Move tool. I'm going to look and see where my collage is at, which it's this very first one. I'm going to click this and drag it up here. I'm still clicking, and I can let go. Notice how my leaf is in front of my sloth. Why is that? Hint, look at my layers. Oh my gosh, you're right. My leaf is above my sloth head. So if I moved my leaf, clicking and dragging it below, it would put it below the sloth head. So I want it in front though, and I'm going to actually hit Command T and make it bigger. So you guys are going to be making a collage using the tools that I just showed you. Image adjustments. Using image adjustments at the top of your screen, you can change some images in order to offset. So like you can use the brightness and contrast and hue saturation to make it look different. You don't necessarily have to do this though, but you can go to image. It would help if I had my image selected. You have to click on your image first. So image adjustments. Let's say that I wanted to change the contrast to make it like lighter or darker. I could do that. I could also change the brightness. Image adjustments, levels. I don't really mess with this a lot, but you can change like let me move this over here. You can change like the levels of it. Image adjustments, curves. Again, I don't really mess with this a lot because it's confusing. But you guys can play around with that for sure if you want to. You can change the exposure, offset. So yeah, that is not required though. You guys do not have to do the image adjustments. You guys are going to have at least 5 images on your final collage. So I made you guys pick out 10 images. You have to have at least 5. If you would like to add more than 5, that's perfectly fine. But you have to have 5 images. I've provided some student examples of what your collage should look like. Your collage should look like it is working together. It should not be 5 separate pieces. So let's say I had, we'll just pretend these are different. If I had 5 different things, they are not just like, there, done. No, that's not done. You need to make them work together in a collage. So there should be some overlapping. It should be fun. Maybe I make some of them smaller than the others. Maybe that sloth is hiding behind it. Maybe this sloth is in front of them. I don't know. So make them work together in a collage and try to fill this space. So if I wanted to select all of these and make them bigger, I'm just using the Move tool and I'm clicking and dragging, and then I hit Command T and I can make them all bigger. I'm holding down Alt, that way I don't lose any. And there we go. So you guys can get started on your collage. Let me know if you have any questions. You guys will be using the magnetic lasso tool and the Move tool. If you have issues clicking and dragging like this way, just hit Edit cut, or Command X, and it will cut it from there. Yeah, look through the instructions, go over this video. Let me know if you have any questions.